to the world as your stage, where you control the outcome. Today, I want to talk to you about what it means to have a dominate mentality. So for all those people who wants to know why they're not, excelling in what they do in their field of study or at their job or just in life, period. Why? Because we haven't adapted a dominate mentality. We haven't adopted the mentality of what it takes to actually get to the next level. See, I'm a big Raider fan, and I love their motto. Even though I know that they don't do what they're supposed to do on the field, I love their motto, commitment to excellence. But even more so, I love the quote that their late owner, Howard Davis, once said. He said, "You don't adjust, you just dominate." And what that meant to me was that you don't just be content with falling in routine with life, but instead, you must grab life by the steering wheel and drive it home. See, I'm on a baseball field right now because this is where I first adopted the dominate mentality. See, I remember coming up through the minor leagues, and upon my first promotion, I remember my coach coming up to me and saying, "Barton, whatever you do, try to do something that would get you mentioned in the newspaper." Now, he didn't mean going out there and robbing a bank or taking an old lady's purse, but what he meant was that you should try to do something that will help your team win, but that would get you into the box scores. Whether it was having a stolen base, whether it was getting a base hit, or whether it's even making a diving play on defense. But then he proceeded to tell me, he said, "Barton, also, you want to lead your league in some sort of category." He said, whether it's your league or your team. And he explained this to me, and it made a lot of sense because he said, when you're at the top of your league, or when you're the best at something, it causes for people to talk about you. And when people talk about you, it puts pressure on the people in those offices who make the decisions. People start asking questions. Why Barton haven't moved up? When Barton's going to make it to the major leagues? And if your numbers and if your production shows that, you force the hand. So what that meant was that I had to dominate. I adopted a dominate mentality. But I couldn't just adopt the dominate mentality. It had to show in my effort. So I had to go out there and get those extra reps in the gym. I had to go to the batting cage and get those extra swings. I even had to go to the field and work on my defense. Why? Because in order for me to dominate, I couldn't just adopt the mentality. I had to adopt the dominate action. I had to show and I had to be the best that I could be, not only in my mind, but also in my effort. See, when I think about those people who dominate, I think about people like Kobe Bryant, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Michael Phelps, Michael Jordan. See, these are people who took their talents and didn't just sit on it, but they took it to the next level. See, for instance, Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan is mentioned, you don't ever hear him being compared to other people. Instead, you hear the opposite. People being compared to Michael Jordan. Will they be the next Michael Jordan? Will Kobe be the next Michael Jordan? What about LeBron? Will he be the next Michael Jordan? And why this is so important? Because Michael Jordan, he elevated himself to such a point to where being good is just not enough. Being mentioned among Hall of Famers like Magic Johnson wasn't just enough. But instead, he became in a league of his own. So when you hear Michael Jordan, he sits on his own platform. He's sort of like a basketball god, a basketball legend of a sort. And that's what it means to dominate. It means to be able to be the best. But the thing with Michael Jordan is that he didn't just set on being the best. His work ethic showed. He was a leader. He worked out non-stop. He knew how to take over games. So I want to leave you with three things. The first thing you must have to dominate is you must possess a talent. Whether it's something that you obtain naturally or whether it's something that you develop, you must be able to have a talent in order to dominate. You must be able to have a skill that you can hone in and that you can be the best in the world at. I remember reading a book, Good to Great. And one of the things that I always talk about is say, focus on something that you can be the best in the world at. See, if you had a talent, you can focus that in, and you can hone that skill, and you can become the best in the world to where you can dominate either a market, or you can dominate that test, or you can dominate the game when you're on a court. Secondly, you must exert confidence. You must be able to believe that you can achieve anything that you put your mind and your effort to. See, I remember when I was growing up playing baseball, people used to always tell me that it would take less than 1% of those people who play baseball that would actually make it to the major leagues. And my confidence was so built, maybe because I was so naive and so young, but my confidence was so stuck on making it to the major leagues that I would tell people that I would be 100% of that 1% that would make it. And so it showed in my work ethics, and eventually, at the age of 25, I ended up debuting for the St. Louis Cardinals. I made it to the major leagues. I became that 100% of that 1%. But lastly, you must have discipline. See, that's one thing that Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, Michael Phelps, your Bill Gates, all those people who succeeded in life, when they didn't feel like doing things, they still did it. They exerted discipline. When it was time to get up, and they didn't feel like getting up, they made themselves get up. When it was raining outside, and they knew that they needed to run and stay in condition, they just went on and put on the hoodie, and they went out there and they ran. When it was late, and they had a few more problems to knock out, they knocked it out. Why? Because they had discipline. Because they knew that in order to be successful, it would take them actually doing the things that they didn't feel like doing and making it happen. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to dominate. So before I leave you, I would like to leave you with 3 things. Again, I would like to reiterate them. 1, possess a talent. And if you have a talent, hone it in and try to be the best in the world at it. 2, exert confidence. Be that 100% of 1%. And lastly, and most importantly, show discipline. Be disciplined. Get up. Get out. And do something. The world is your stage. And you control the outcome.